Good morning. Welcome to the Mindfulness broadcast. I am coming to you live from Mazda, from my car. I'm between meetings. So this is my nice, quiet space to do this work. So I am really happy to be here with you today on the last day of May with the Mindfulness broadcast. I wanted to talk this morning about elevating others and about lifting people up. Um, and I want to kind of dive into the neuroscience of that a little bit, and then we'll use our meditation practice this morning to focus on that and to notice what that experience is like for ourselves. You've heard me, if you've been with me before in workshops or other settings, you've heard me talk about how our brain, first and foremost, is wired for safety. That's the job. You've heard me say that a lot. Um, and one of the ways that it does that is through this judging, comparing, putting people to groups. Are we similar? Are we not similar? Can I trust you? Can I not trust you? And these are real archaic systems. They're based on culture, on input that we have experienced, on things that if we are training our brain, we definitely can have an impact on that. But if we're just allowing our brain to do its thing and use old mental models, that can be influenced by biases, right? By implicit biases. So it's embedded pretty deeply. So without really a lot of conscious work, we can be deciding in our brain what's good, what is not good, what is safe, what is not safe, what might be a threat, what might not be a threat, right? And we're doing this all the time, most of the time. So it's part of our default mechanism in our brain. When we're not totally focused on something, part of that is playing in our brain. And the result of that is that we might feel like we need to not elevate people, not acknowledge skills or um, beautiful aspects of people or their spirit or their energy or their contribution because it might feel like in some way a threat. So we see this a lot in the business world, right? I can offer, if I have a coaching business, I can offer coaching business. And then if five other people offer coaching businesses, well, I might feel threatened by that. I might feel like I need to elevate myself and maybe notice and highlight for others what you're not doing well so that I get more business or more customers or whatever that is. We might find that at work, in meetings, people may be outperforming us in certain areas. And so we don't elevate them or might really be searching for things that they're not doing well. And we're doing that all under the radar of consciousness, right? So these parts of our brains that are kind of interpreting our external world might be and probably are judging, comparing, and doing that without a lot of conscious work, excuse me. So in mindfulness, and that feels bad. It feels bad. If we can tap into that, it feels yucky inside most of the time. And so in mindfulness, the gift that that brings is that we can catch ourselves doing this thing that our brain does naturally, contrasting, judging, comparing, putting people into groups. It's happening. So we just are able to notice that and then do something different if we want to feel a different way or elevate people in a different way or challenge our own beliefs. Like if I use that coaching model again, when scarcity brain comes up, I might instead say, the world could use a million more coaches, right? I am not by somebody else elevating their skill set and bringing this gift. What a talented coach they are. They're actually elevating the field, which builds my business, which builds my industry, which builds the understanding of coaching, right? So I can get involved in that process and create new thoughts that are much more about elevating, about lifting, about abundance, as opposed to the script in the background that's constantly playing about scarcity, not enough, I got to elevate myself. I've always got to be, on top, essentially. And I'm just oversimplifying it, but I'm assuming that you can connect with this in some way. We see it a lot in families with siblings, we see it at work a lot. And so we're going to play with that a little bit this morning in our mindfulness practice. So, thinking about um, elevating, about lifting, about celebrating others and their contributions and their gifts. And if our brain, which is constantly trying to keep us safe, interferes with that and says, yeah, but remember when they did that thing? Yeah, but, right? We're latching on to something that might be negative. We just get to meet that and go, I'm hearing that, and, right? I see that, and let's open it up. Let's lift and elevate each other and do that intentionally and mindfully. And notice how it feels. That's what I'm going to invite you to do as we go through this practice. Notice how that feels for you. So when you're ready, you can close your eyes or take a soft gaze. We're going to land in this space this morning together. So just first find your breath. You might notice as you're inhaling, you bring your awareness into your body. You shift your posture into a more attentive, purposeful posture. You might notice that your shoulders come down and into place. That you center and balance on your sits bones, your feet. You might invite just a lifting of the crown of your head and a tucking of your chin, really giving your breath an opportunity to move directly, almost like a straw, if you imagine it, just right down your throat and into your lungs, expanding your belly, and then allowing the belly to fall and the breath to move directly up and out. You might invite a slight smile to your lips this morning as we begin to think about the many people in our lives. And we're going to start in a real simple place for most of us. Since most of us are here working within human services, the helping industry, the people industry, we build and have a lot of compassion for those we serve. So I want you to just think about a customer, an Oregonian you've served, a participant. If you're a leader, it might be a particular team member or colleague. See if you can identify them, name them, and if not, you can just kind of scan the group, thinking about multiple people. And as you consider this person or these people, notice what they're doing well, name it. Notice they're on time. I notice that they ask me how I'm doing. I notice that they're very engaged, or I notice their effort. I notice how they interact with their children when we're on the phone. Just take a moment and notice. And again, for most of us, that's a pretty easy well to tap into. To allow your brain to think about a colleague, somebody who is equal with you or near equal with you in the type of work that you do. And you can just allow your brain to go to a person of ease right now. We'll challenge it here in a moment. And in the same way we did with those we serve, I want you to think about that colleague and begin to highlight, elevate, lift to the surface the things you appreciate about them, the skill set that you notice. And make a list. You can visualize it. You might name one thing and focus on that, or you might be listing off 10 or 20 things about that person, about the work they do, about the way they live their life. Notice how that feels. Notice what's happening for you as you think about this person. And we're going to stay at the colleague level. And I want you to bring to mind a colleague that maybe you feel challenged by. Maybe there's history or comparison. There might be some sense of jealousy. Feel what happens for you as you bring that person to mind. You might even be thinking of processes. Maybe it's not even a person. Maybe it's policy. It's a process. And in the same way you've done before, I want you to really search and highlight what gifts are present, what skills and talents are demonstrated. What can you appreciate about the person, process, the policy? And again, visualizing, listing, naming. As we begin to close, I want you to again notice how you feel. Notice what's present for you. So much of our emotional, I'll say, connection about others is driven by thoughts we have, right? That there's not enough for everyone. If they get the award, I won't get the award. If they get the promotion, I won't get the promotion. Using our mindfulness gift and our practice to go to the thought, What's the thought? What if I thought there is enough? What if I thought there are many ways? What if I thought this is hard and I'm going to choose to face it? Find your breath again in your body as we take just a few seconds to close this out. Thinking about how you can lift and elevate authentically, purposefully, and mindfully. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes or bring your gaze back together. Thanks for being here, everyone. I hope any digital issues work themselves out. Be well. I'll see you soon.